Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your morning is going great. Mine is, and we have an awesome video for you lined up today. I did an interview or kind of like talk show with Koska. If you don't know who he is, he's been on the channel before. It's been a couple months or so, but he is fluent in Korean and in English. He actually lives in Korea, and he vigorously follows the Overwatch League. Dallas Fuel is definitely one of his favorite teams, along with most of the players. And he's going to be here talking with us, telling us what the Koreans think about the Dallas Fuel, what they think about Effect, and if he should stay with the team, as well as his own opinions. It's pretty much just a great video overall with a ton of information about the Koreans' insight on Overwatch. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like down below, subscribe to my channel for more content, and show some love for Koska down in the comments, guys. Everybody type heart Koska. Kostka. Koska. And lastly, remember guys, enter the giveaway. It is super easy. Do not be lazy. All you have to do is click the link, enter your email, subscribe to a channel, like a video, and you're set. You have a great chance at winning an Overwatch League jersey of your choice. And now, let's get right into it. All right, so here we are, guys, here with Koska once again. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm kind of happy these days because Dallas feels good, doing great in the
Yes.
start of this season. Yeah.
That's the first thing I actually wanted to
Good.
talk to you about. Last time we talked,
okay.
you were a little, on the fence with the Dallas Fuel since the whole OGE situation with him boosting. How do you feel about them now? Are you kind of over that, or let's hear it?
Yeah, I'd say that I'm kind of over that because I don't think I'm just gonna stop being a fan of Dallas Fuel just because of OGE. Because I've been a fan of Envious and because of Harry Hook, Coco, and Taimu Chips, and including Effect. I mean, because of those players, I'm not just gonna stop being a Dallas Fuel fan.
Would you consider forgiving OGE, or have you?
Well, I'd say kinda, but not entirely.
Yeah, kind of the same situation Fisher was in, right? Where he's kind of
Yeah,
just going to
right.
let it go, but it is what it is. All right.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So, I mean, with the recent success of the Dallas Fuel, I mean, it's probably awesome being a fan of them now, right? How do you feel about their performances lately?
Yeah, I feel like before this season, whenever there was Dallas Fuel game, I was thinking like, oh well, they're just gonna lose again. Oh, should I watch it? Should I watch their game? But this season, I'm like really looking forward to their games.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a matchup, I really want to watch it, and I really don't want to miss their games and every single move they, make. Yeah, that's how I feel these days.
That's awesome. Overall, how do you feel like the meta has impacted their performance? Do you think that is like one of the biggest things? This has been a discussion I've had a lot on my channel lately, and I do attribute
Yeah,
it a
right.
lot to the meta, but there's obviously other factors, so I wanted to see what your opinion
Yes,
was on that.
there's obviously other factors because they must have been working really hard. That's what comes into mind for the first. Because they all know that they've been struggling hard throughout the season. The one who practiced the most is Mickey because
Yeah.
every time there was a new meta, Mickey was like a key player to them. You
Mhm.
remember when Diva was the meta during the Apex
Yeah.
Apex days?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mickey was doing great, and that's what made Mickey part of the team. And I think because the new meta came and Mickey adapted to it really well. He's
Yeah.
like one of the best Brigittas in the league, right?
Of course, yeah. He's pretty much
Yeah.
playing on a whole nother level when it comes to Brigida. What do you think
Yeah,
about
right.
Aero coming in as the head coach and getting rid of Kai Kai?
We'll have to see. We'll have to watch it for more games. I don't want to judge it right away, but as
Okay.
far as it comes, I think he's doing fine. He's doing great.
Do you think he's an upgrade from Kai Kai so far?
Yeah, so far.
All right. All right, so now we've pretty much talked about the Dallas Fuel. Let's focus a little bit more on Effect. What's like your personal opinion on him? Since he's not with the team right now and they're having so much success without him, and obviously when he was there, it didn't go great. So what do you think about all of that?
Um, I don't want to say this, but I kind of think that Effect might have been the problem for the Dallas Fuel.
Okay.
Yeah, when XQC, was it XQC or someone else? But someone said in stream that Kai Kai is not the problem, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Am I
I've heard it
right?
from
Was it
a few
XQC?
people.
Oh, really?
I can't
Oh.
remember exactly who, but yeah, I've heard it from a couple people saying that Kai Kai is at least not the biggest problem, and Effect might be.
Yes, but there's one thing that I want to tell you that I want to tell you how Effect left his previous team, Metabellum. Like when he was playing for Metabellum, it was quite the same situation with what he is in Dallas Fuel. He was like even at that time he was also considered as the best tracer in Korea, and he was like trying really hard to win the game and improve the team, but Metabellum just they didn't. His teammates were like not as good as him, and I think they were not trying as hard as him either. And Effect there, he got frustrated and he began flaming other players, like his teammates, literally.
Really?
Yeah,
Is this well known to like all Korean public, really?
Oh, it's not well known, but it's kind of.
But a decent
some
amount
people
of
know about it.
Okay.
Yeah, decent amount of people know about it. And he began flaming his teammates and the team, and that's it's kind of exactly the same situation with the Dallas Fuel's Effect, right?
Yeah.
And after the coaches thought that it would be a bigger problem if they just let him talk like that, their head coach talked to Effect and said, I don't think you're going to be a lot of help for our team, and you admit that you were like having a negative effect on the team, right? And Effect agreed on it, and he left the team.
Yeah.
And that's right before he joined Envious.
Yeah, I didn't know much about that. I don't think many Westerners really know about that either.
Yeah, me too. I don't think Westerners are going to know about this background story that Effect had before.
Yeah. It's definitely
something.
It's definitely something I've brought up like in a few videos recently, that it's kind of clear when they were on stage after they'd lose or before they'd even play that he didn't look happy. He looked angry, you know what I mean? Especially one time when he did the finger sign to his head. I really didn't like that. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I felt like, if you're doing that in front of your teammates, that's not going to, create a good environment.
Yeah, that's just going to have a negative impact on the team. And you remember when Effect was just really angry, and he when he was coming to the stage, he didn't high-five the fans, and he was like mean face.
I do remember that. And he's also, if you think about it, he is one of the most open after they lose, going on like Twitter or a stream and saying things that probably unhealthy for the team. I do remember one time he pretty much leaked everything, saying like everybody was a problem or something. But how do people in Korea view this situation overall? I've heard your opinion. What about like the general consensus?
There are two opinions in Korean Reddit. Inven, they've been fighting and arguing about it for like more than a month now. And the one side is they're saying that Effect is not competent to be a pro, because one aspect of being a pro is like overcoming the pressure, not just running away from it or like flaming the others. And the other side is that, why do you say those mean things to him? He's burned out, he's exhausted. So just let him rest. Let him rest and come back after it. And these are the two opposing, opinions about Effect situation.
Which one do you think is more popular? Or do you think it's like straight down the middle? 50-50. Okay. Yeah. And this is like a big thing too. People have been talking about in Korea, right, for a while now. It's not as popular in NA really. Like it gets brought up here and there, but I do think a lot more people kind of protect him, like you said.
To be honest, I don't actually understand why people are like defending him or protecting him rather. Like he's being unprofessional in my point of view.
Yeah, I know when I've said things like this, saying that, he needs to calm down and stuff like that in the channel, a lot of people in my comments will get upset and say, leave him alone. It's really just comes down to him, like, being able to handle the pressure, like you said. Can he be mentally stable? Because that's really his problem right now. He's too emotional. Yeah, right. He lets his emotions get the best of him.
That's what I was exactly going to say.
Yeah.
And, being able to control your emotions and your mentality is one aspect of a pro, right?
Yeah,
If
I mean,
you're a
it's
pro,
one of the
you have
biggest.
to, yeah, you have to be capable of dealing with it. But Effect is, I don't know, man.
It's interesting too because when Effect like played for the Dallas Fuel, a lot of like pro players considered him a Western player, not like an actual Korean import, because he had that
Oh
Western
yeah, right.
mentality of, you know, kind of being emotional and not like super disciplined as most Korean teams or players would be. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's kind of like, you know, he is from NA. And I mean, I'm not trying to take shots at NA
Um,
players, but it's kind of, it is something that is kind of common.
yeah. I wouldn't say he's like any players, but I'd say that he seems to have his own world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's like, he doesn't listen to anybody, and whenever fans, there was a time that a fan tried to criticize him for being too arrogant, and he was saying like, stop saying those, BS, and he just closed the comment section in his YouTube,
Yeah.
and that's how I see him. But
There's also like
yeah,
a fine line between, you know, arrogance and confidence when it comes to, you know, competing in esports. Personally, I'm somebody
yeah,
who
right.
was very confident when I played, and I probably came off as very cocky too because I talked a lot of trash. But like, if you do get too arrogant, it will get to your head. I've experienced it, so it's a very dangerous line to walk. Someone similar to that is
Yes.
kind of like Sinatra, but I think he keeps it in check pretty well.
That's exactly what Korean fans told Effect, but he was not listening to him.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah,
Where do you think like Effect would go from here? Do you see him staying with the Dallas Fuel and coming in for season 2? Even if like say the Dallas Fuel in stage 4 here make it all the way to the playoffs, how do you think stuff? Do you think they would give him another chance or?
even if they were given, even if he were given another chance to compete, but I don't think he's gonna be in a important position as he used to be in,
Yeah.
because Tracer is off meta now,
Hmm.
and Brigitte, and as far as from what I've observed from the Dallas game, they were using like Ryan, Diva, Brigitte, and those were the three major comps, right?
Hmm.
And I don't see any effects position on that, lineup.
That's true. Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna be used as a substitute member for maybe Zarya or Tracer.
Tracer right now is kind of like it's like more of an off meta pick now. It's like a decision to make instead of being mandatory. So I definitely see what you're saying.
Yes, it's not mandatory these days. And because Taimu is doing great these days, and Seagull is the only projectile player in the team. And I think Dallas is just gonna remain in that lineup. I don't think Dallas Fuel will give him a major position for the
just
team.
a big role inside of the team.
Yeah, a big role. Yeah,
I could see that happening.
it's kind of sad, It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Envious fan.
Yeah. It's just like as soon as he leaves, obviously there were other changes. The meta changed. Kai left. They got Aero, but Effect is also not there, which I think that is a reason why they were underperforming. And it does seem like there are a lot of people who don't want to look at that and say, all right, that is a factor that has changed from them since they were bad and now that they're good. And it's definitely something that shouldn't be ignored. But I mean, it seems like a lot of people in Korea at least believe that's what the case is as well. So
there are people saying that Effect was part of the problem, but they're not coming out of the. I don't know what to say, but there are more people. I'd say there are more people who are like defending him rather than criticizing and trying to correct what he's like wrong actions or wrong commitments. There are a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really confused. I don't know why people are like defending him so much.
yeah,
Just look at Fisher. Look at how we overcame the problem when he first joined the Gladiators. He mentioned in his stream that he was having a lot of problem, right? The Gladiators were not one of the, best teams in the league. They were like in the bottom 6.
Yeah, bottom 4.
But yeah, bottom 4. Okay. And when Fisher came in, of course, he would be frustrated because he was part of the best team in the league. And in all of a sudden, he's in a bottom 4 team. But he like communicated with his teammates a lot, and he like brought in like positive spirit to the team. And finally, he changed the team into like a competitor, right?
Yeah. He helped drive them to the top with like positive energy rather than
yeah, right.
I'd say, the negative energy that kind of comes around playing with effect.
Yes, I think that's what a top player or a top professional should do, or should bring to the team, not like depressing all the team players.
Yeah.
And blaming his teammates or dissing his like, oh, our team's off tank sucks, or the next season is gonna be a cancer. Instead of saying these things,
those are definitely like the two worst things I think he said too. That was that was the time I was talking about earlier where he said pretty much his whole team was trash. That was interesting. I mean, I got a lot of views off that video, but yeah, you shouldn't be saying that about your team.
Actually, I like that video.
You liked it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the funny thing is that when I like said it in a Korean Reddit, a lot of people were like, why are you saying mean things to him? Why are you being so rude? Just let him, rest. Stop criticizing him.
Yeah.
But, in my opinion, if Effect really wants to improve, I think, I'm not saying that I'm really a kind of a saint guy, but I think he should at least consider those.
Yeah, the criticism.
Criticism. Yeah.
And just also, like, if he's an actual professional, he shouldn't let those things get to him. What people are saying on Reddit, right? If they do affect his mindset or make him play worse, then he just straight up isn't cut out for it then.
He shouldn't have made this situation come to this, degree or something like that.
And something else, he's also taken multiple breaks throughout the season. Kaikai actually said this himself. Like, Effect has had time off multiple times. He went back to Korea in the middle of either stage 2, I think it was, and he came back and, nothing changed. He didn't get better. It seemed like it only got worse. So, I don't know if more time is going to help him.
That was also the part of the things that I wanted to talk with you.
Mm-hmm.
He like leaving the team during the season, and he's the like one of the most important players in the team.
Mm-hmm.
I saw no responsibility from him, just because he couldn't like withstand the pressure, not winning.
Yeah,
he just leaves the team. That's really nonsense, in my opinion.
Yep. And I think that, like, if it works, if he does take that break and he comes back, completely refreshed, and he's a positive reinforcement to his entire team, then I could understand, okay, maybe it was a good idea to do that. But when he comes back and is negative again and it gets worse, then it's like, what was the whole point of that? It was a complete waste of time.
Yeah, right. It was really waste of time, like, in the most crucial times of the season, maybe most crucial periods of the season.
Yeah.
It would have been, acceptable if he came back refreshed, like what you said.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't.
Nope. And I mean, like you did say, that probably is one of the most important times of the season. They're about halfway through, and if there was a time for them to turn the season around and start winning, it would be then. And by the time he came back, it was just too late.
Yeah, right. And look at what happened when Effect left the team. Like, they put AKM on Genji? What is that?
Hey, to be fair, that is one of the best memes to ever come out of Val, so maybe it was worth it that Effect left. We got the AKM Genji Blade meme. But no, I see what you mean, like, definitely some weird decisions coming out from him, and obviously the organization allowing him to do stuff like that. And obviously, like, the organization does play a big factor in this, because I do feel possibly if Effect had, like, a really good leader, some authority figures ahead of him, like on, say New York Excelsior's coaches and management, if they were dealing with him, maybe they could turn it around for him and help him. Obviously, Dallas Fuel, probably one of the worst organizations. Kaikai was like a friend to all the players, so nobody there really could, help him turn around, and probably just let him get worse and worse. So at the end of the day, it isn't all his fault, but he should be held accountable for some things that he did.
Yeah, right. And I think if he were in Korea, he would have been like immediately banned, kicked out of the team.
Yeah, until he learns his lesson, right? if he ever
Yeah,
does.
right. He does not learn any lessons from his like previous experiences. He has done it before,
Yeah.
and he has not changed at all. That's the point.
So without effect now, I think we've covered that good enough. How far do you think like
Yeah,
the
right.
Dallas Fuel can go this stage? Right now they're sitting at 3-1. They're in rank 5. They have some fairly easy matches coming up. Florida Mayhem, Shanghai Dragons one week, and then they do have Seoul Dynasty and LA Valiant in the last one. I think they'll go like 50-50, maybe like 75-25 in those. What do you think?
Yeah. Um, I think there's a chance for Dallas.
Think there's a chance?
There's a chance
For
really.
playoffs,
Yeah,
right?
because for playoffs because Spitfire and Dynasty are like struggling really
Mm-hmm.
badly, and I think there's an opportunity for them if they can grab it.
I think right
And the
now
other, yeah,
I think right now it's a matter of fact of how quick can these teams get used to the Brigitte meta and this like triple tank comp that Dallas is running. Say by week
that's
5
right.
when they do play Seoul Dynasty, will Seoul
Yep.
Dynasty at that time be ready for that comp? But if they were to go up against Seoul tomorrow, Seoul probably wouldn't be ready. So I think it comes down to like a time thing. Because
Yeah,
yeah, the
but
Dallas Fuel are playing great and the meta's working really well for them. But I think once teams maybe figure out how they're playing, it might become a little bit easier for them.
yep. Uh, if I think there's a chance for Dallas Fuel to beat the Seoul Dynasty because they're former Lunatic High, right?
Yeah.
And Lunatic High had a really hard time like adapting to new meta.
Yeah.
I don't exactly remember if it was like Apex season 2 or 3, but I think it was season 1, maybe. When Soldier came into the meta, Lunatic High like they just couldn't adapt to it, and they lost to Kongdae Uncia.
Yeah,
And I think it was quarterfinals. Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem for Seoul Dynasty because they really had a hard time adapting to the new meta. And I think the biggest reason why they could succeed is because the dive comp has been a meta for so long time.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to adapt to a new meta for a long time.
They're
Because
also like
dive
just
was OP.
really all over the place right now too with their roster. So like dealing with roster changes and a new meta at the same time, swapping your main Tang out, probably not helping them.
Yeah,
And they have looked
probably.
worse this stage from all the other ones. So
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, luckily for them, they do have till week 5 for their Dallas Field matchup. Unlike the London Spitfire, they actually have them coming up this week, so that'll definitely be an interesting one. That will tell us really where Dallas Field stands. Because although London
Yeah, right.
Spitfire like has been struggling, they do seem to be able to always show up against those teams that are kind of known as not being good. They've usually never let a loss go through against a team like Dallas, Florida, San Francisco. Usually always win those,
Yeah.
so this will be a good
Yeah.
tell, I think.
Yeah, and Seoul lost to San Francisco.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you got any final thoughts you want to say about just anything? Effect, Dallas Fuel?
Well, I really wanna see Effect like recover from his situation because he was one of my favorite players, and I'm not like I don't hate Effect. I really like him, but the situation he is in right now is I think he's more responsible for it, and hopefully he gets back and does well and lead the Dallas Fuel to the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't have anything against Effect. I think he's a great player. He's fun to watch, especially
Yeah,
when he comes in with that, like, I got a solo carry mentality. Seeing him, kill everybody is awesome. Maybe
right.
it's not the best thing for his team, but, he is a fun player to watch, and I don't wish anybody, anything bad. And, yeah, I agree. Hopefully he does come back, and he just needs to be accountable. He needs a good coach, a good management to guide him. And I
Yeah,
think he'd be
and
good.
he also needs to change some of his mentality
Yeah.
too.
Agreed.
And if he does that, I think he's gonna be like one of the top players in the league. He has potentials.
Oh, of course, yeah. The mechanical skills are already there. It's just the
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah, it's his mindset and mentality. Yeah, there are more things that I want to talk about today, but my English just won't allow it.
I think you do a very good job, to be honest, for being fluent in English and in Korean. But I definitely understand you want to be able to, emphasize on some things more than others.
Yeah, I want to say like I want to talk about more, fluently or more like
In depth.
I want to give out more, yeah, in depth. I want to give out more informations, but I'm not a native speaker.
Yeah. I mean, it's still awesome, though, having you come on. You give us a good perspective on the Koreans' views and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I guess that's gonna be my role in your channel.
Definitely. Well, I mean, I think that wraps it up then. Thank you again for coming on here, Koska. It's always fun talking to you, getting insight from, the Korean scene. A lot of Westerners really, don't speak Korean, so it's always a treat.
Right, and yeah, it was a good time for me too.
You get any Twitter or anything, and where people can follow you or something, or is still a no on that?
Still no, I
Still
say.
no. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well,
Okay.
it was good.
It was a great time.
We'll have you on here some other time, maybe soon. All right, guys, and that is the interview with Koska. It was really fun talking to him. We got into a lot of different topics. I didn't expect it to go this long. Let me know if you guys like this type of video down below, if we should do more interviews and just, I guess, more like talk show type things with Koska, where we could learn more perspective from the Koreans and him. There are definitely a ton of topics we could discuss with him, like the London Spitfire and Seoul Dynasty, how they're underperforming, and what the Koreans think about them, also with New York Excelsior dominating. Just a ton of things. And that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know down in the comments again if you enjoyed this type of video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel for more daily Overwatch League content. Let us know what you think about the whole situation with Effect and Dallas Fuel. And lastly, do not forget, guys, enter the giveaway. It is super easy. All you have to do is click that gleam.io link, enter an email address, subscribe to the channel, like the video, follow Twitter, stuff like that, and you get a bunch of entries. Really, the chances are great that you could win. And I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Peace.